China still is a monster.
In a country that's tried to silence him,
Refuse very basic human rights.
Ai Weiwei is unlike other artists, perverting symbols of Chinese culture to demand it be reconsidered.
The future of China will affect the future of the world.
His name and work synonymous with freedom.
The people here still have no rights.
One of the world's most famous contemporary artists in one of the most secretive of countries. From the very start, Ai Weiwei's life mixed art and politics. His father was a well-known poet during Mao's Cultural Revolution.
He maybe thinks differently from the Communist Party.
Ai Weiwei's childhood was spent in a labor camp. The family sent there for re-education.
Particular moments which allow a voice to change the way that people think.
He's a Beijing Andy Warhol.
He wants to shock you. When you see him drop a Neolithic pot, he's saying, I love the culture, but I want something new.
I think the most important media of our time is Twitter.
They call him Ai Shen online, Ai God. That's a very dangerous description in China.
Ai Weiwei had been gearing up for the fight that would define much of his art when an earthquake in western China devastated the lives of millions.
What the state-controlled media is not representing fully is the level of human suffering.
The death toll was massive. 90,000 dead, thousands of them children. Children crushed when over 7,000 schools were destroyed.
A crying mother who can never have her son back. The grief is made even more so because of the country's one-child policy. In a tiny rural town of Wufu, more than 130 families lost their only child to a collapsed school building. Virtually every building in town survives the earthquake, except for the school. Parents question the quality of the material used to make the building. Anger has turned into despair. Distraught parents write their children's names on banner in blood, a symbol of how much has died within them. Exhausted parents can only protest in silence and tears, remembering the young lives ended even before they began.
A wall listing the names and ages of victims, some as young as 2 years old.
What inspired you to come up with this project?
5000多学生，对不对？你一口否认这个没有必要的，你得调查一下有没有豆腐渣工程。
Is he really allowed to say these things?
Are you worried?
Yes, I am worried.
We're going to push this not to happen.
Police, about 40 of them, rush into the hotel, and they beat me.
In April 2011, Ai Weiwei went missing. The worldwide art community feared the worst. A massive international campaign followed his disappearance. Release demands, protests, sit-ins. Everyone wanted to know where was Ai Weiwei.
The dignity of life the freedom of expression, the very essential human rights and universal values, then I become very heavily punished and sometimes damaged because of my act. That gradually become a symbolic meaning or gesture for young generation. They can clearly see how one person got involved and made the change, because so many people still see me as a symbolic figure for freedom, for individual courage, and for an individual can take action. I hope one day they will realize it's a crime not to let an individual to speak out of their mind, and it's a crime not to encourage their citizens to be creative, to be freely express their opinions.
China is a society. People are not trained to express themselves in the public.
Expressing himself is what Ai Weiwei does best.
I think I can use my own act to help people to understand this is
try
possible.
To protect the dignity of life, the freedom of expression, the very essential human rights and universal values, then I become very heavily punished and sometimes damaged because of my act. That gradually become a symbolic meaning or gesture for young generation. They can clearly see how one person got involved and made the change.